All right, my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about the abundance of PC gaming in 2025 is broken. We're waking up type videos that I am seeing all over the internet. We're seeing it all over everywhere. And look, guys, I wanted to kind of give you guys my opinion on this. I've been PC gaming for a little over 3 years now. I started on the 3060 Ti. So basically in the Nvidia 30 series, then we get the 40 series, 50 series, and then I switched over to AMD last generation with the 7000 series RDNA 3 GPUs. You guys have heard the story a million times. For all you new people that have been here, that are coming, that are gonna watch this video. Look, guys, I get that PC gaming right now feels absolutely freaking broken, and you have no shortage of influencers out there telling you so on a daily basis, trying their hardest to make you feel, I don't know what they're trying to make you feel. To be completely honest with you, I literally feel like that is the cheapest, lowest form of content that anybody can make. Is PC gaming perfect right now? There's definitely some things that could get better. I would say that the MSRP pricing for all the GPUs that have been announced this generation, more than fine. But are we getting MSRP prices? No, we're not. Sadly, we are not getting those prices. Now, prices are coming down a little bit in a lot of areas, but we're also still getting GPUs like the 8GB GPUs. And look, friends, I put my money out there to buy a 5060 8GB so that I could test it, you know? And I thought, and I'm not even joking, guys, I thought for sure, Froggy is gonna finally be in line with everybody else. Now, I paid $374 for my GeForce RTX Gigabyte Aero, and I was like, okay, I want to buy a premium card. I want to get like a nice, you know, just good freaking version of this card. I want it to look good. I want it to feel premium. I want it to blow my socks off in terms of like the aesthetic, the feel, all of that stuff. And so I did. I bought a nice one. I got a white, my Nvidia build over here is a white case. It's got, you know, all the white aesthetic to it. So I was like, this is gonna be nice. I mean, it's right here. Let me just grab it to show you guys. I wanted a premium looking GPU for that build. And so this is what I picked up. I got the 8GB. And so I put it in there, my friends, and I start playing on it. And I'm like, okay, look, this GPU right here, 8GB, is marketed as a freaking, gosh dang it, what do they call it again? The esports GPU. They're like, oh, you don't need more than 8GB to play these types of games like your Fortnites and your freaking Call of Duties, your CSGOs, all of that stuff. And so I'm like, okay. So because I'm not a massive esports player, I was like, but how is this GPU gonna play, and how is this gonna work for somebody that is 100% all about that AAA banger games, day one AAA game type of gamer? And so I was like, all right, but we're gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna throw it in at 1080p, and we're gonna adjust settings as needed. I came away with the impression that, like, while 8GB is probably not gonna be the standard forever, I mean, we all know that. We're not stupid, like, we're not dumb. We do know that like 16GB is pretty much the sweet spot right now. Still doable at 12 if you're gonna stick to a resolution like 1080p or 1440p. 12 is probably a good point for that. But 8GB at 1080p, is it still possible to have a good experience? I came to the conclusion that yeah, it was mostly good. I was able to even play games like I was actually able to play Indiana Jones on an 8GB GPU with low settings and still get a massively high frame rate and still be able to play that game actually a little bit better than I was able to play it at like 4K maxed out. At 4K, like for some reason it was just making me dizzy, but I was able to play that on this GPU. I've been able to get into and play all kinds of AAA games even Mind's Eye. I was even able to play Mind's Eye on this GPU. I just tested it the other day, and I was like, cool, not a bad experience. But today I've got the B580 coming out, and you know, guys, with even that GPU, okay, Intel coming out to save gaming from the big bad evil Nvidia and AMD corporations. Intel was about to save us from everything. They offered us a 192-bit bus, 12 gigabytes of GDDR6 VRAM on a did I already say? Yeah, with on a 1440p GPU at $249. I paid $300. I paid the exact same amount of money for that as I did for this. $347 was the price. This came out, this was $349, so $2 less. I paid $2 less for that B580, and I can already guarantee this card's gonna smoke it. This card here, right here, is gonna beat the brakes off that card for the same price with 8 gigs of VRAM, but we're gonna be testing that. This is like one of the GPUs we're gonna be testing with it. And then we also have the, let me just get my little pile of GPUs. And then we have the amazing 5060 Ti. This is the 16 gigabyte model. This one here, the pricing on this one, my friends, this one here jumped up. Okay, this one cost me $500+ for this GPU alone. And honestly, I paid the extra price because it is an Asus and it matches my 5070 Ti. So I was like, let's do it. This is the OC model. This is like the best one that you can get in terms, well, not the best one. I mean, obviously, you know, best is gonna, but I like the aesthetic of this GPU. I like the aesthetic of it. It looks clean. I like that. I do wish that this right here was RGB, but it's not. This is just your plain Jane GPU, but I like the aesthetic of it. This GPU, you know, like the Prime logo, it kind of reminds me of like the Nike Airs back in the 90s. Them were cool shoes. Those were really cool shoes. So I bought those, and I like that. It's just got that like premium look to it. So I'm like, okay, great. But this GPU right here is gonna beat the freaking socks off of that B580. It's gonna have, you know, when you look at Nvidia, in terms of like all the features and stuff that they brought out, like DLSS, frame generation, all this stuff, Nvidia is in a class of its own, okay? And they charge you for that. They absolutely grab you by your feet, shake you until all the money comes out to give you that. Do you get your money's worth out of the experience over the long term? Absolutely, absolutely. Is it worth paying the extra money for? I don't know, man. AMD gonna step in the room and be like, look, man, we're $350 and we're right on par with your 5060 Ti. We're a little bit faster than your 5070 Ti with our 9070 XT, and our 9060 XT 16 gigabyte GPU is the same price as your freaking 8 gigabyte GPUs, Mr. Well, a little bit more. It's $350, but when you look at that, when you look at the cost of this, you know, you can get this GPU right here. This is the XFX Swift. This is the 3-fan model. This is an OC model. This one here does boost a little bit higher, runs a little bit, you know, gets a little bit higher power draw. Still features the 16 gigs of VRAM, still has access to FSR4, all the bells, all the whistles from the RDNA 4 stack. And this GPU right here, absolutely freaking, man, I tested this out. My whole review on this card was on 3440 by 1440p. It comfortably was able to chug right through that. It was like, dang, man, this GPU right here made me feel like, damn, this is a $350 7800 XT. And I was like, holy crap, that is very good. You know, guys, I listen to people like Vex, Hardware Unboxed, Gamers Nexus, you know, all of our usual people, and look, they're not wrong. They're not wrong. There is something terribly wrong with PC gaming right now. There is. But there's also something very good about PC gaming. Now, I haven't been in PC gaming as long as they have. Maybe they have grown to the point where they're just like, maybe it is crazy for them. Maybe it is crazy for them. Maybe they've went from like this extreme, like this golden period that they always talk about, and how pricing and performance gains, and all of these things were just perfect. And it was generational, and everything just felt wonderful. And they knew, they felt they had this firm grasp on how the PC market should be. There's no denying that, okay? And I'm not against them. I'm really not. I just look at this from a different point of view, and I have for a while now. The PC market is changing. I think that the old methods of doing things, while I think they're kind of outdated, because I jumped on Hardware Unboxed yesterday so that I could check out, you know, their findings on the B580. I was like, okay, I want to see what this card is going to do. And instantly, guys, after watching that video, I legit was like, oh my gosh, I regret buying this card. Nobody's going to care about this. Nobody is going to watch this content just because this card is already outdated after just 6 months. 6 months, it's already outdated. And I was like, man, I look at this right here. This 9060 XT, 16 gigs of VRAM, 128-bit bus, faster, stronger, way more support than XeSS has right now. And I look at that and I'm like, oh my gosh, guys. And instantly I started thinking, I'm like, okay, so how am I going to cover this B580? How am I going to cover this card? And I was like, okay, maybe I just pull out the ultra wide 1080p monitor. Maybe I just throw it on that, you know, and because the whole point of this channel now is to just try to make you feel good about the products you buy. Let's see if I can find some good reasons for you to actually buy that product. Has nothing to do with, you know, is it worth your money or any of that kind of crap anymore, because you have to make that decision yourself. You have to see the product in action. You have to see what it can do. And then you have to make that choice. You have to be like, all right, and this is the only reason to buy an Intel right now. Only freaking reason is because you want to try something new. That's it. Both Blackwell and RDNA4 are significantly more performant. No reason to pay the same price for an Intel GPU as you can get for either Blackwell or AMD RDNA4. Nvidia right now absolutely holds the crown. They got 92% of the freaking market, and there's a reason for that, because everybody looks at it and they're just like, oh, I don't even care. They just buy Nvidia. I'm here to tell you, my friends, that look, AMD has made me very happy. I 100% love getting on my AMD GPU. I love the UI, I love the user experience, I love everything about it. I love the Relive software. I freaking love AMD. I think it's incredible. Do I leave stuff on the table? Yeah. I mean, right now, guys, the 5070 Ti dog walks my 9070 XT on freaking Assassin's Creed Shadows on 1440p, on 4K, on everything. It does better. It just does better overall natively. And so I look at that and I'm like, gosh dang, man, there are some instances where Nvidia is absolutely the undisputed freaking king, and they really do have a lot of market share, whether that's from being misleading, whether that's from being freaking, you know, paying off YouTubers or whatever. Our buddy at Gamers Nexus, you know, saying that they're threatening them to like take away stuff for them to do coverage. Look, guys, all I know for a fact is I think those guys are being a little bit too over the top on some of this stuff. To be completely honest with you, I think there's more of a middle road, and I wish they would take it, because in terms of like trying to just make everybody feel absolutely at their worst about these products, ask yourself this question. Do you really think AMD and Nvidia are going to forego AI to go back to the old way of doing things, to offer you more power, more raster? Do you really think that's going to happen? Do you really think that all of us YouTubers out here crying and screaming and kicking our feet are going to be able to make them do that? Look, Nvidia and AMD know that, like, you can pout and stomp your feet all you want. as fast as technology moves, your older cards are going to eventually be redundant and not work. They're not going to perform going forward. Will they be able to maintain what you've got right now? Absolutely. Will they be able to play new stuff in the future? Well, maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe gaming is really truly at an end that nobody's going to care anymore. But I think they both know that Nvidia especially, okay, this 5060 Ti was 16 gigabytes. 16 gigabytes is pretty much the sweet spot for doing large language models at home. Okay, 16 gigabytes is pretty much the entry level sweet spot for being able to get into that, according to the research that I've done on that. So there's a reason why these 16 gigabyte cards on Nvidia command a higher premium. If it was all for gaming, then it would be different. This card wouldn't be nearly as much as it is right now, and Nvidia wouldn't be able to command such a high price if it was just gaming. But those features, those AI features that you all love, DLSS, transformer model, frame generation, all of these features that you love and care about so much are only possible because of AI. So you strip all the AI out, you strip all the features out, and then you're back to your $200 GPUs that are basically, you throw it in there on the new games and you're like, wow, dude, I didn't realize it was going to be that low of a frame rate. So, you strip out all the AI and your 5060 is 100% a 1080p card. No going past that, it's 1080p. You strip out all the fanfare and everything out of your 70 class, they're 1440p cards. The only cards that are going to be able to get you anything near 4K are going to be the top of the line cards that are, I don't know. Is it really worth going back to that? Or is it worth maybe just switching to AMD, getting about the same performance as the 9060 XT, definitely more engineered for gaming on the Radeon side right now. And a little bit more price friendly for everybody that doesn't want to spend that much. Isn't it probably a better idea to just switch to AMD right now? And well, I don't know. Because then if you switch to AMD and everybody switches to AMD, then Nvidia is in an interesting spot. They could legit probably just sell all of their cards to the AI guys. They could. And then that would leave you with AMD. And then if your only choice is AMD, then AMD grows, it gets bigger, and eventually AMD is at a point where people take AMD seriously. They start getting the developers and everybody else that they want and that they badly need. And then AMD becomes another pillar for the AI. And then their prices start to go up higher. And then you're stuck with Intel. And Intel right now is, I don't know, is Intel even going to continue going forward? So that's the thing. I'm not saying to just everybody switch to AMD. Like, it would be awesome. It would show Nvidia, but we need healthy competition in the GPU market. And right now, AMD is probably offering you the better bang for your buck in terms of, cost, but they're also getting more money for their GPUs too because they are good. They are good and they do deliver. So when I sit back and I listen to all of these, oh man, PC gaming is dead, it's ruined, and blah, 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 and cards like the 5050 are just sand or whatever, There is a silver lining to these GPUs, guys. There is. These are going to last you a little bit longer. They're definitely more performant. You have more tools to be able to like kind of push through some of the stuff that normally you wouldn't be able to. Things like frame generation, upscaling, stuff like that. They are going to make your experience better. So while I don't think that PC gaming is completely freaking done for and over and completely garbage, I do think that my relative short time in the PC space hasn't truly like got to a point where I see it as a bad thing. I do see the pricing as becoming, I do understand how it's really taken things it's taken a lot of gamers back. Like I told you guys back when they raised the games from 60 to 70 bucks, that $10 was a mental block for people. So I can definitely see how prices going up on these cards is a mental block for people. But I don't think that us as reviewers are doing a good enough job at fully fleshing out the features and really showing you that like these cards are definitely better. They're definitely better than the rasterized performance you got last generation. And the new features really do push these cards in a completely different, you just kind of have to see it for yourself. That's the only way I can really communicate that, is you have to see for yourself, and you have to, yeah, you have to turn on MFG 4X. See it for yourself, man. Is it something you can live with or not? You have to get into a game that runs like trash and turn it on and be like, oh wow, I can actually play the game now, for it to matter to you. And then you're gonna have to decide if that is gonna meet your standards or not. But yeah, I don't think I don't think we're giving. I think that us as content creators and influencers are kind of, I think we're poisoning the well a little bit too much on some of these features. While they're not for everybody, and you might just be like, look man, I got into PC for this, I'm an enthusiast, this is what I want. Enthusiasts are being priced out of the market when it comes to 90 class cards. They're being priced out. And so it really is one of those things where it's like, look man, if we want to keep playing games, I don't know. I'm not ready to give up gaming yet. So that's where I'm at. That's why it's still easy for me to be happy, and that's why it's easy for me to like try these features out and see if they really do enhance my performance or enhance my experience. I just made you guys a 1440p versus ultra wide video today, showing you guys the difference between native DLSS quality and frame generation 4x. And yeah, dude, that video turned out good and the experience is fine. So all right guys, let me know how you guys are feeling about this, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.